Well everyone, last week Apple gave us iOS and iPadOS 26.4 to the entire public. It brought new features like playlist playgrounds, a new full screen album artworks, some new widgets, and a bunch of other new kind of creature comforts that we're going to know and love moving forward. But this week they gave us 26.5 developer beta 1, so all developers can try it out, test it out, and see if there's any bugs that need to be squashed before it comes out to the entire public, which will probably be later on in May. So without further ado, let's talk all the new things with 26.5, and definitely be aware that normally the even number, point X1, so the point 2s and the point 4s, are the ones that give us some real actual features that you can use, versus the odd number updates like point 1, point 3, and point 5 are more of those kind of back-end performance enhancement updates to make sure that it's ready to go for the next update, which is probably going to be the iOS 27 update. But let's talk about what's new with 26.5. Let's get into it. But now before we continue, if you guys do enjoy videos like this one where we talk all things Apple, consider subscribing to the channel and help us get to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year, because we're getting close, everybody. We appreciate you. But now let's talk about the first new feature and talk about the build number. Well, alright everyone, let's get right into this. And as you can see, we are using my M4 iPad Pro running the latest version of iPadOS 26.5 Developer Beta 1. And in terms of the build size, I was able to take a screenshot of it, but we're dealing with about 8.12 gigabytes for the 26.5 update. So give yourself 12 to 16 gigs of open storage in order to get this installed and installed correctly, just to make sure that there isn't any issues when installing. And then in terms of the build number, if you go into our settings, go to where it says general, then go to about, then tap into the iPadOS version, then of course you have to tap in there again, and we do have 23F50443G. Now of course this is going to be the first developer beta, so it's going to take a little while. The public beta should be coming out sometime next month. I mean, again, April's only a day or two away at this point, but usually by May is when we get the public release of the next 0.5 iteration, and then WWDC comes around, and then we'll be able to get the beta 1 of a 27.0. So that's what it looks like from a timeline perspective. But let's see exactly what's new with 26.5, because again, 26.4 brought some new additions. Like we got the widgets over here for the new ambient music. We got the music application with the playlist playground. So we go in here and create any playlists over here. So if I want to go down and create a new playlist, then you get the new UI that came with the update for Playlist Playground. So if you want to do some songs for an after party, it gives us this, which I still think is a foreshadow into what the new Apple Intelligence is going to be like. But in terms of what's new, there really wasn't much new here. The one thing that I do want to show off is going to be in the Maps application. So you can see maybe now that Apple does include ads inside of Apple Maps, which again, Google Maps has been doing 4 years now at this point, and I'm personally a Google Maps user, so for me it's not going to make a big deal. But basically, if you go into Apple Maps and you search anything, you will now have suggested places that show up first. Now, I wish you could kind of discard them or say that they weren't relevant to you by pressing the 3 dots, but you basically go in here, you have 2 options here because it's based on my location, based on maybe if I'm hungry or not, and you get 2 places like Crumble and Blank Street. But if I zoom out, maybe go somewhere else, let's see if it changes. We're trying this in real time together. But if I go in here and then maybe zoom in, go to search, you can see that the suggested places do change. So there's a Starbucks here, there's a South Street Creamery, which interestingly enough, Apple's still taking all the information from Yelp, which is kind of absurd here in 2026. I mean, Yelp, in my opinion, is gone. I don't know why Apple's still using Yelp as their kind of source of information. And then you have a place like Starbucks where it does give you, again, I'm sure Starbucks is paying a pretty penny to be suggested for you there. So I wish they were a little bit more contextually relevant. I'm sure there is some location data, but Apple is saying that they're not selling your data at all. It's not registered to your Apple ID or anything like that. So it's basically they're just paying to be suggested based probably on the location that you are or the direction that you're going to based on the map that you're putting in. But again, if you move it around just to kind of show off a different suggestion, we'll zoom in here. We'll, maybe search. And you can see that, did it change? I don't even know if it did change, but maybe we'll go in here again, zoom in, press the little search button, tap into Apple Maps, and it did change to Panna Gelateria. And then again, Starbucks is there again. But you actually have 4.9 on Yelp, and then this one actually has Foursquare as where it's coming from in terms of information when it comes to the rating of it. So let's see exactly what Apple's going to use long term, if they're going to stick with Yelp, or if they're going to move away from Yelp finally and do something much better. But I guess they refuse to use Google Maps as like their source of rating information. The more you know. And if you go onto the 9to5Mac website, Ryan does a great job of kind of explaining where this information is coming from. So it's a combination of new ads inside of Apple Maps and then also this new feature of suggested places, which again, it's based on the trending nearby places plus recent suggestions, and also shows you 2 suggested places, which we did see early on. So that's a new feature in the Maps application. And while we didn't get any new Apple Intelligence features, it does look like Apple Intelligence is finally rolling out in China, at least the current form of it with the image playgrounds and the emojis and all the grammar correcting and stuff like that. So again, nothing too crazy, but it is being reported that it's showing up in China with the new update. So let me know if there's somebody that can confirm that down in the comments below. And then I do kind of want to check out the Apple Intelligence section. So if we go into our settings, go into Apple Intelligence and Siri, There isn't any changes down here in terms of what's new, if there are any extensions. Now this has been here before, but you have the ability to sign in. You have your different requests and image creation. You can confirm your request. You can open ChatGPT. This has been here for a little while, but it looks like Apple will allow us to eventually change up which LLM we want to use inside of Apple Intelligence. But that's everything new right now with iOS and iPadOS 26.5. Leave some comments below if you guys see anything different. But the last thing I want to talk about is going to be in the settings. So if we go into our settings, go into our battery, let's see how our battery health is doing. Again, I'm not using the newest M5 version of the iPad Pro. This one's a little bit older, the M4 iPad Pro, but still running amazingly well. But you can see on a day like Wednesday, we used 4 hours and 17 minutes of screen on time, and it took about 77% of our battery. Another day like Tuesday, 79% of our battery, but we got 6.5 hours of screen on time, meaning we easily could have gotten maybe 8 to 9 hours of screen on time overall. So again, 26.4 was a great update for battery life. Let's see how 26.5 holds up over time. I use this for continuity camera a lot. I've recently switched over to macOS a little bit with a combination of the Neo and an M5 MacBook Pro, but I'll have a video on that one relatively soon. But my iPad Pro is still king. But that's everything new with 26.5. Let's finish up the video. So that would do it for this video, everybody. As you saw, there wasn't anything really new and tangible with this 26.5 update. There was no new Apple Intelligence features that came around. It looks like Apple's saving Apple Intelligence features for the iOS 27 update that'll be announced at WWDC, especially with that combination and the news with the Gemini adoption, using that as a foundation and working with Google alongside of that. And also it sounds like Siri is going to be able to use different types of LLMs depending on what you're used to. So there's a lot to like for the future, but with 26.5, it's kind of just tidying everything up, making sure performance is good, making sure battery life is efficient to make sure that we're ready to go for the WWDC announcement in June. So let me know in the comment down below. Are you a little disappointed with 26.5? I know, again, we were supposed to get some sort of new Apple Intelligence-like features with 26.4 and even 26.5, but as of right now, it remains yet to be seen. So let me know what your overall thoughts are on Apple Intelligence, these new updates, and how your actual iPhone or iPad is running, and ultimately which phone and iPad you have that you're running these betas on. So always curious to know your thoughts, everybody. But if you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin. And if you want to check out the wallpapers that are in this video, definitely check out our channel membership because we release anywhere from 8 to 12 new wallpapers every single month. Check it out and help support the channel. But if you guys want to watch more videos like this one, check out one of these videos right here. Until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace, everyone.